Now, I mentioned before that all the extra benefits of dynamic disks can kind of automatically draw your eye towards the benefits that they can provide. But if you played with dynamic disks in the past, there are some idiosyncrasies to their use that have driven a lot of people away from using them in any kind of production sense. It is for that reason that Microsoft has expanded on the concepts that make up dynamic disks to create this new notion that we think of as storage spaces. Storage spaces still require disks that are configured as basic disks, but you get all the extra benefits that you would normally associate with dynamic disks as part of storage spaces. Plus some additional functionality that is most commonly associated with storage virtualization that allows you to consolidate disks and then chop them up into smaller units that you can make available for one reason or another. Well, let's assume, for example, that we have these 5 disks that we've plugged in here physically, or really logically since we're in VMware Workstation, but physically here into this server. These 5 disks are each a terabyte in size. They can each store a very large amount of storage, but managing each disk independently and having to deal with one disk each as a silo of data actually creates some issues, especially as you start needing to change the size of volumes and identify where volumes need to exist. Storage Spaces provides a way for you to consolidate storage into a storage pool. This consolidation of storage essentially kind of hazes the lines between the individual silos of storage that would be each independent disk. Once you've then created that logical storage pool, you can then chop up the pool into individual virtual disks or storage spaces. These individual virtual disks needn't necessarily be directly associated with any of the physical disks, but instead rely on the sum total of the disk space that exists. Essentially, what Storage Spaces is a way for you to not have to worry about your individual disks from a physical perspective, but instead from a logical perspective. Doing so allows you, should you need to add additional storage space, to just simply add an additional disk or multiple disks into the storage pool, and then provide that space to the individual virtual disks or storage spaces as they may need it. As you'll see here in a minute, we can create virtual disks either with a fixed size or dynamically expanding, so that the individual virtual disks can be very small as they start out with, and then grow as they require that additional space. Now, where things start to get a little more complicated is we have really 3 different items that we're dealing with: the disk, the storage pool, and the virtual disk here. Well, inside of each virtual disk, we can also create 1 or more volumes. And so you have to kind of take care of understanding where you might apply your storage and how you might end up slicing and dicing it. So when it comes time to design your storage spaces, it's best to start with understanding what kinds of volumes you may need and work backwards from there to create the storage pool, to create the virtual disks that you may require to ultimately provision that storage and make it available for use.